as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고. 힘차게 돌아가는 경제. 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
By most accounts, President Lee Jae-myung avoided what the foreign press are calling it could have been a Zelensky moment. You all remember that incident whereby U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had this fiery spat in the Oval Office. So there was a collective sigh of relief that things seemed a bit cozier upon the actual summit itself. And what was actually discussed behind closed doors? We're waiting to find out. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, August 27th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. And, regarding that summit and, of course, the one prior as well, we're going to be addressing both of those summits in our special interview coming up in hour number 2. Well, in the meantime, let's talk about something that we have talked about before, but there's a new kind of fold or aspect of this. So, we talk about South Korea's birth rate. Have we memorized the number by now? Hitting rock bottom, 0.75. But, what happens after hitting rock bottom? Well, in theory, the only way is up. In fact, the birth rate may rebound this year for the second consecutive year. That's according to authorities. So according to healthcare statistics, there are over 304,000 women expected to give birth this year, which is up by 21,000 from last year. And this figure is calculated based on the Pregnancy Voucher Project applicants as of May, although the actual birth figures may be different. So experts say that women in their early 30s will lead the pack in the rise in the number of births, followed by those in their mid to late 30s. This age group hints at an economic factor in family planning, which becomes even more evident when we look at the employment style of new moms. Last year, the birth rate of salaried women, or 직장인, was 0.75 compared to a vastly lower 0.57 for women who own their own businesses or were freelancers, and the lowest, 0.31 for women on basic welfare. These figures were determined by National Health Insurance Corporation data based on what kind of insurance the mothers were on. And experts have pointed out that much of this whole work-life balance support and the measures are geared toward those employed by corporations, big companies, not self-employed individuals nor freelancers. So the Parliamentary Budget Policy Office said that those business owners, self-employed people, and platform workers have lower access to these family planning policies and benefits and have called for further action on this front. All right, now we're going to get to our text topic, and this is very much linked to one of our stories later on in hour number 2. And you might, when you hear this topic, you might think, oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, what writing utensil do you use the most often? Do you have a preference, or do you just use whatever for example, today I'm using how do you say in Korean, like a 삼색, 볼펜 for, taking notes. For example, let me give you some examples. A pen, a regular pencil. In English, we say mechanical pencil, a stylus pen, or even like a fountain pen. I'm sure there are many more writing utensils, but 내가 자주 쓰는 필기 도구는 예를 들면요. 볼펜, 샤프, 태블릿 PC pen, 만년필. Yes, some people do still use fountain pens. Can I go first? Okay, my favorite, I can't say the brand name, is this gel pen. 근데 이제 그 젤리 롤 펜이라고 하나요? 그 젤 혹은 겔로 만들어진 It's so smooth. 근데 저는 0.5보다 0.7mm를 선호합니다. There's a particular one that I really, really like. And I buy over and over. And I use it, like you can see the ink going down. And I get a little sad. And then I go out and buy a couple more. So yes, that's my favorite type of pen. I don't like the fine point. I like the medium point. Well, let me know what your thoughts are on writing tools. You can send in your messages to BEFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송 to find our channel. You can subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers. Also from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 101. You can reach me for free through Kakao Talk as well. To find us, type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송, and then add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages, photos too. Maybe you can send a photo of your favorite writing, instrument. And you can listen to Morning Wave in Busan on the radio if you're in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. And like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. You can watch again at your leisure. And we're available on the BEFM app or the Popbang app too. Let's take a look ahead to our Wednesday morning. It's hump day already. Our lineup, hour number 1, we have Lian coming in for Now and Next. And hour number 2, Work in Progress with Jennifer. And like I said earlier, for our special interview today, we're going to speak with an expert and look back on the 2 summits that President Lee Jae-myung just held with Tokyo and Washington. So that's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06 and this is News Overview. Yi visits Hanwha Shipyard in Philadelphia as part of U.S. trip. President Lee Jae-myung attended a naming ceremony for a national security mission vessel at the Hanwha Philly Shipyard as a sign of South Korea-U.S. cooperation in the shipbuilding industry. Special envoy says Xi Jinping likely to visit APEC in Gyeongju. The presidential special envoy to Beijing said that Chinese President Xi Jinping will likely attend the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC summit in Gyeongju this fall, but confirmed differences in lifting the ban on Korean culture. Special counsel to indict Kim Gun-hee on Friday. The special counsel led by Min Jung-gi said that it will indict former First Lady Kim Gun-hee under detention on Friday, marking the first time that a former first couple will stand trial under detention. First quarter marks smallest job increase on record. The number of waged laborers in the first quarter only increased by some 15,000, the lowest rate of increase since record-taking began due to a reduction in manufacturing and retail jobs. UN calls for justice over Israel's Gaza hospital bombing. The United Nations has demanded Israel's investigation into the double bombing of the last functioning hospital in Gaza that killed 20 people, including journalists and rescue workers. This was News Overview. It's time for Now Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hello first. Good morning.
Hi.
Oh, you're enthusiastic today.
I am.
Well, let's get into our text topic. Do you have a favorite writing instrument? Like, give us the specifics.
Whatever I can get in a bag.
Oh, whatever it is?
I don't bring a pencil case. Do you?
I don't have a pencil case, but I have several different pens in my bag. They're rolling around in the bottom.
Same, yeah.
Yeah. So whatever's there you use? Mm-hmm. Oh.
I always wanted to know how to use 만년필.
Fountain pen.
The fountain pen.
Right. Well, the older ones, from what I understand, it's like literally you dip it into ink, but there are modern fountain pens where the ink is like in the cartridge and it comes out. Mm-hmm. But yes, it does depend. Some people love fountain pens. Other people, it can get kind of messy. So
I once tried to use it and I got really messy hands.
Right, the ink gets all over. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it does take getting used to. All right, we're going to jump into our first story. Busan is not just hosting the 2025 National Sports Festival, but it's doing it with style.
Yep, the 2025 National Sports Festival is coming to Busan this October. And we are getting clear picture of how the opening and closing ceremonies are shaping up. The plans have been revealed and they're looking pretty epic.
Well, we need the details.
The opening ceremony is taking place on 17 October at the Asiad Main Stadium. It's all about ships arriving in Busan. The stage will literally be made of containers, which is so very Busan.
Indeed. So I like it, kind of like an industrial chic kind of idea. What are they going to be showing off?
It's a story about the city itself, from history and industry to the stories of local people, all told in a way that's easy to connect with.
Yes.
The closing ceremony, for instance, its theme is Planes Take Off, Let's Fly. The athletes, after wrapping up a tough competition, chill back on a stage designed to look like Busan's beach. Mm-hmm. Then to connect through the sea and sky symbolically, they pass the baton to Jeju, which is the next host.
I love the idea, the premise of it. Well, what about the Paralympic ceremony?
The opening ceremony of National Para Games is going to be on October 31st. And by holding acrobatic parkour performances based on the topography of Busan, which has many hills and mountains, it will highlight the greatness and potential of the athletes who have surpassed the limits of their bodies.
Yes.
And the closing ceremony present a choir stage with voices of Busan citizens who encourage them to have new challenges.
Indeed. So it sounds like a beautiful idea. Who's leading this big production?
It's directed by Park Hallin.
Oh.
She said she put what she has seen, heard, and learned and felt since childhood in her hometown, Busan, on the stage. And it will be a stage that men and women of all old people also can enjoy to their heart's content.
Well, we look forward to it because it's right here in Busan. It's coming up soon. Thanks for letting us know. All right, what's next on the agenda today, Sejin?
Busan City said they will increase the refund rate for its local currency 동백전 up to 13% from next month. It's designed to boost consumption and increase sales for small business owners.
Didn't they already raise it earlier this year, if I remember?
They did. From January to August, the limit went from 300,000 to 500,000 won per month.
Yes.
And the rate from 5% to 7%. That actually led to 992.6 billion won in spending, over 23% more than last year.
Yes, so what is changing now?
So now, to further encourage spending, Busan will temporarily raise that rate to 13% from September through October. And here is how it breaks down. If you use 동백전 at a business with annual revenue under 1 billion won, you'll get 13% cashback. If the business makes 1 to 3 billion, it's 11%, and there's no cashback for places earning over 3 billion.
I see. So it's to incentivize, I guess, for the smaller business owners. And does this apply to apps like, for example, the 동백 Mall or the 동백 Taxi?
Yes, you also get the 13% rate on the public delivery app, 땡겨요, or 동백전 Taxi, and online marketplace 동백 Mall. One thing to note, the monthly cashback limit is being reduced from 500,000 to 300,000 won. But with the higher cashback rate, the maximum amount you can get each month will actually increase from 35,000 to 39,000.
I see. So thanks for the explanation. But what about for the rest of the year?
They're gonna monitor usage and announce separate policy for November and December. And at this pace, the city expects the total 동백전 issuance to reach 2 trillion won this year, which is highest since 2022.
Yes. Well, thank you for letting us know because so many people use this program. All right, next. How are people feeling about the economy these days?
Busan residents are feeling more optimistic about the economy. For the fourth month in a row, consumer sentiment in the city has improved. According to the Bank of Korea's Busan branch, the Consumer Composite Sentiment Index, or CCSI, for August rose to 115, up 1.7 points from July.
Right. So this number, the Consumer Composite Sentiment Index, what does this number actually mean? Because we hear the numbers and then we think, well, what does it mean?
Yeah, the CCSI is a measure of how people feel about the economy. If the number is over 100, that means people are feeling more optimistic than usual. If it's below 100, they're feeling more pessimistic. And back in April, Busan's index was just 96.5, below that key line. But it's been climbing steadily, 103.4 in May, 110.5 in June, 113.3 in July, and now it's 115 in August.
Yes. So, but I do want to ask about household finances.
Households also felt slightly better about their finance. The index measuring current living conditions rose from 94 to 96, and expectations for future income increased from 101 to 104.
So it does sound like the confidence level, it's going up. But you did mention the word inflation.
Yeah, the expected price level index is still high, which means concerns about inflation is still around. This is an index that tracks people's outlook on price levels, and it reached 141 this month, up 3 points from July.
Okay.
And that shows how many people still expect prices to keep rising.
So overall, I guess like with better sentiment, people are still worried about rising prices.
Yeah, to put it simple, while overall sentiment is improving, inflation fears remain high in Busan.
I see. That's the status report on the economy. Thank you. All right, next I hear we're going to talk about surfing. So there's like a new place that is giving Songjang a bit of competition.
Yes, 다대포's making waves, literally. It's got its own nickname now, 다대포니아.
Oh.
Which is a compound word of Dadepo and California.
Okay.
Visitors numbers have doubled, and hashtag Dadepo surfing tag has passed 20,000 posts.
Wow. So this is like the new hot it place. How many people have visited?
Between July 1st and August 20, about 2.19 million people visited Dadepo Beach.
Okay.
That's almost double the number from the same period last year.
Wow. So why Dadepo?
Shallow water, long-lasting waves, great for beginners. Waves last over a minute with a steady rhythm. Even seasoned surfers are impressed.
Ooh, so what about the businesses surrounding Dadepo?
That's the issue. There's hardly anywhere to stay nearby, so most surfers head off to Haeundae or Gwangalli after. There are some eateries near Dadepo station, but only 11 accommodation facilities nearby. In contrast, Songjang Beach has over 100.
Ooh, so are there any calls to improve facilities?
Yes, national surfing team coach Song Min said the beach is good enough for world-class competitions, but it's frustrating that there's nowhere to eat or relax late in the day. He stressed that local government needs to step in and improve the infrastructure.
I see. Well, here's hoping that happens. Well, thank you for going over all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll be back with traffic and weather.
Good morning. Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's now time for your traffic report at 7:18 on this Wednesday morning. Let's talk about the Dongso overpass. It is congested from the Hwangyong ramp to the old Kaegum toll gate. Also congested on Mandok-daero from Mandok Tunnel number 2 to Mandok intersection. Nakdong-Namlo looks backed up from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan three-way intersection. And also slow on from Chungjang overpass to Pier number 4 right now. Currently, it's 26 degrees Celsius under sunny skies here in Busan. It's expected to go up to 31. Busan City is under a special heat wave report, 폭염특보. Across the nation, another hot one with the Jeonnam, Gyeongnam, and Jeju regions under a special heat wave report. Daytime highs to go up to 35 degrees in some areas. Showers are forecast for parts of Gyeongsang, Chungbuk, and Jeju areas starting in the afternoon. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Let's say good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, well, I want to get to our text topic because I love school supplies.
Me too.
I mean, if I could, I would just live in a stationery store and just like I like the smell of like just all the paper, the different types of paper.
I love testing out the pens.
Oh, that's the best.
The binder clips and the tabs.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm all about the transparent tabs. Yes. It is, by the way, happy back to school for Korean kids who are starting a new semester and then U.S. kids who are starting a new school year.
As well,
yeah,
yes.
Go back to school shopping for me.
Yay. And like, the parents are collectively like, yes, kids are back in school.
Although there's a whole thing, maybe I'll cover it in Wa글, about parents having to buy school supplies for like communal class stuff in the U.S. So I'm still trying to figure out what that's about before I actually bring it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into our top story. We need some follow-up from President Lee Jae-myung's visit to the U.S.
Right. So when we left off the show yesterday, we were right at the end of the summit between South Korean President Lee Jae-myung and U.S. President Donald Trump. So we got a lot about the more open aspect of the summit in front of the press. But then we did start to get some details trickling in from what happened behind closed doors because President Lee Jae-myung spoke at this DC think tank, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, and that's when we ended the show.
Yes.
So let's delve into the speech and what he said about the summit. So Lee and President Trump, they're seeking to open new horizons in this pragmatic alliance centered on national interests. So in Korean, that would be 국익 중심, 실용 동맹. The two leaders agreed to modernize the Korea-U.S. alliance in line with the changes in the current security environment. So this modernization refers to potential changes in the role of U.S. forces in Korea, and then by comparison, expanding the role of the Korean military, increasing the South Korean defense spending, and changes to OPCON, the Wartime Operational Command.
Yes.
And actually, the National Security Advisor Ri Sung-rak said in a press briefing that President Lee preemptively brought up this matter of increasing South Korean national spending or national defense spending during the summit as a part of the modernization of the alliance.
I see.
However, a specific number has not been set, and that might be a further point of at least negotiations, if not contention, moving forward, because the Trump administration has pressured other allies to raise their respective defense spending to 5% of the GDP.
Right.
Right now, South Korea's defense spending by comparison of its GDP for this year is at 2.32. So in order to reach that 5%, we would need to more than double the spending.
Yes.
Going back to other issues, President Lee actually mentioned that the chorus, Korea-U.S. joint defense posture, will remain ironclad. It's only that South Korea will take a more proactive role in safeguarding peace and security over the Korea Peninsula. Because there had been talk of speculation about whether the U.S. will pull some of its forces. He actually mentioned the specific number, saying that that won't happen at least for the foreseeable future.
I see. Well, I hear that Yi spoke candidly about his expectations and what actually happened.
Right. So he spoke to the leader of the think tank on John Henry, and he said that his aides were really concerned about what you said, the 젤렌스키 showdown.
Yes.
Because Trump did mention a purge on his social media page. Interestingly, President Lee said this could be a hindsight is 2020 thing, but he said he personally was sure that it wouldn't happen because he had done his research, meaning he read Trump's book. And basically, he was sure that the president wouldn't do anything to actually hurt the Korea-U.S. alliance.
I see.
And then he said that they actually spoke about a lot more things than anticipated, got understanding and encouragement on those issues. And he also added that everyone, and this could hint at not only South Korean advisors, but he did get some tips from the Japanese prime minister, advised him to be patient, and he was.
Ah, yes, yes. Well, for now, we're going to bring it back to South Korea. The main opposition People Power Party, or PPP, has elected a new leader.
Right. So after a lot of turmoil, the PPP has its new leader, two-term lawmaker Jang Dong-hyuk. He won the chairmanship against former labor minister and presidential candidate Kim Moon-soo. The vote difference was actually quite narrow at 2,366. It was determined with 80% of party members' votes and 20% of public opinion poll results. So Jang, who is he? Well, he's considered a hardline Yoon supporter. He's staunchly against the former president's impeachment. So previously, the party factions within the PPP was divided into Chin Yoon, pro-president, and anti-Yoon, pan-Yoon.
Right.
However, now that's kind of taken a turn. It's still fairly similar, but the rhetoric is tan, tan, and pan-tan, meaning pro-impeachment and anti-impeachment.
I see.
So he is very much in the anti-impeachment camp, so formerly pro-Yoon. And he actually openly, during the campaigning, said that the party cannot embrace those who, quote, fired from within, saying that he might even consider expelling people from the party if necessary.
Oh.
So this means that the pro-impeachment factions within the party will get smaller and smaller, if not in numbers, at least in their status. Especially because the new supreme leadership will also have an absolute anti-impeachment pan-tan majority.
Yes.
However, Jang is trying to now kind of manage the finer nuances, because he did draw a line at going too far. So that too far part seems to be embracing the far-right YouTuber, history lecturer Chun Han-gil, because some pundits have credited Chun as mobilizing the support of the anti-impeachment forces behind Jang. Jang did previously defend Chun's actions at the party's speech event, chanting things like Yoon again, as a move to protect the party, not to divide the party.
I see.
However, the camp did draw a thin line, saying that that doesn't necessarily mean that Jang is entirely embracing this Yoon again movement.
Well, we know for now he has won the party's leadership, the chairmanship. So up next, in this heat, the oceans are warming up faster, affecting fisheries all around the country.
Right. So hot ocean temperatures, they lead to the mass death of farmed fish, and that both the hotter ocean temperatures and mass deaths are happening earlier and earlier this year.
Yes.
So according to the Oceans and Fisheries Ministry this week, the first high ocean temperature alert of yellow or watch, that was issued on July 3rd of this year. That's actually a week earlier than last year. And the orange level, a higher level, was issued 15 days earlier than last year.
I see.
The heavy rain earlier this month and then last month, it did bring down temperatures somewhat, but then in this heat wave, the temperatures are going up again. And that is expected to continue because we don't know when the heat wave is ending.
Exactly. And apparently, the Korean Peninsula is seeing faster rises in ocean temperatures.
Right. This is, of course, happening around the world. However, according to the National Institute of Fishery Sciences, their briefing book, in the last 57 years, ocean temperatures around the Korean Peninsula went up by 1.58 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
That is actually more than double the global average in ocean temperature rises.
Okay.
And as we know, this, of course, then affects fish farms, 어장. The damages, they've been focused on rockfish and flatfish, urok and kwangeo, with 58.3 and 9.9 billion won, respectively, worth of damages. The damages began occurring faster again this year, with the first mass death, or 폐사, reported on July 27th, which was 4 days earlier than last year.
Yes, and when we talk about stuff like this, course, this trickles down eventually to the grocery stores.
Right, so this is both an environmental and an economic issue because the lower supply of these popular types of fish from the mass deaths, well, that leads to higher prices.
Yes.
So authorities say that with the decrease in rockfish urok, prices have gone up by 9% to 55% depending on where you are last month.
Right.
For flatfish 광어, prices went up between 3 and 40%. So fish farmers have taken some preemptive actions like releasing young fish into the open ocean. And the Oceans and Fisheries Ministry is supporting such early releases while also providing the farms with liquefied oxygen supply devices.
Yes.
But then also that's in the immediate term. They're also working on announcing new measures with smart fisheries methods by the end of the year.
Ah, yes. So definitely the heat affecting just about everything here on the peninsula. For our final issue, one of the top international issues last week was the summit in the works between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin. But it seems that the momentum has slowed down considerably.
Right, so that was supposed to be the big summit in the works, but it seems that momentum has definitely fizzled out. Even President Donald Trump seems to be kind of managing expectations. He did say that the two presidents, Zelensky and Putin, will meet in the span of 2 weeks. However, when he was actually asked about this after his summit with President Lee Jae-myung, Trump said they may meet, they may not meet. Trump emphasized that the two they need to meet before they can sit down with himself and reach an agreement. However, President Trump also admitted that the two leaders are naturally not on good terms, to say the least. And the dislike is significant between the two men, and that needs to be resolved. So since the summit at the White House with Zelensky and the European leaders, the Kremlin, so Russia, has been lukewarm about the Zelensky-Putin summit.
Yes.
The Russian presidential office said that they discussed the idea to raise the level of the Russian and Ukrainian representatives. However, pundits say that whenever the Kremlin says discuss the idea, that's basically kind of like when parents say, we'll think about it. So things usually don't happen. So that's them declining in a roundabout way.
Yes.
By the way, amidst all of this, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is meeting with top U.S. officials later this week.
Right. And going back to Russia, in fact, the Russian military has been expanding its defensive.
Right. So this might be that case of action speaking louder than words because Ukraine said that the Russian military has crossed into the Dnipropetrovsk area. This is an eastern industrial region, and it marks the first attack of such a large scale in this particular region. Here's the thing, though. This has been the region to look at on the war front this summer. So Russia claimed beginning in June that they have been able to breach into Dnipropetrovsk, and they've made the claims throughout the summer in an attempt to push deeper into Ukrainian territory.
I see.
Accounts right now differ as to how far Russia has made it in, with Ukraine's military officially saying that they've been able to block off this offensive. However, at this point, with potential talks ongoing, any Russian advance into Ukraine would be a huge hit to Ukrainian morale.
Yes. So that is what's happening between, I guess, Ukraine and Russia and what may not be happening. We will check in with you in hour number 2. So thank you for all the news, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, let's get to our first song break for this Wednesday morning. 꽃보다 그대가 봐, 영준.
Yeah. 영준 함께하는 Simon Lee. Okay, let's go. 그대는 flower. 아름다워. 좋아요. 아주 좋아요. 딱 좋아요. 그대는 flower. 아름다워. 좋아요. Oh yeah. 누구 때문에? 당연히 그대 때문에. 어쩌다 나 이렇게 됐는지 나도 몰라. 난 몰라. 다 몰라. 그대 왜 내 맘속에 사는지 정말 몰라. 난 아무것도 몰라. 거리를 오고 가는 수많은 사람들 그대만 내 눈에 들어와. 꽃보다 그대가 술보다 그대가 말로는 더 늘어지는 하루 잠깐 졸리다가도 그대 생각에 난 눈뜬 채로 꿈을 꾸게 돼 내가 욕하던 그들처럼 나도 바보가 됐나봐 따사로운 그대 온도를 난 기억해 금방 또 잠와요 나를 만날 땐 당신의 태양을 살짝 올려줘 우리 자리에만 꽃이 피게 한시도 떨어져 있기 싫은 나의 외로움 탓에 한여름에도 옆구리가 싫어서 난 불러켜
얘기를 들어보면 너 예쁜 그녀들 그대만 내 눈에 들어와 꽃보다 그대가 술보다 그대가 말로는 다 할 수 없어요 그대를 생각해 긴 밤을 지새다 이 밤도 떠나보네요 나보다 그대야 바보가 된 거야 내 맘을 어쩔 줄 몰라요 그대를 생각해 긴 밤을 지새다 이 밤도 떠나보네요 꽃보다 그대가 술보다 그대가 말로는 다 할 수 없어요 그대를 생각해 긴 밤을 지새다 이 밤도 떠나보네요
그대 옆에 있으면 장미도 금방 시들어 그대 향기에 난 취해서 코가 삐뚤어져 살만 나는 이유가 딱 하나 그대라서 그대 옆에 있으면 장미도 금방 시들어 그대 향기에 난 취해서 코가 삐뚤어져 살만 나는 이유가 딱 하나 그대라서 이 정도일 줄은 전혀 예상 못했어요 밥 못해 먹었던 세상도 이젠 안 미워 보여 난 살만 나는 이유가 딱 하나 그대라서 I feel good tonight Woo!
Welcome back, everybody. Well, today we're asking about your favorite writing instrument. Meaning, do you use a pen, pencil, fountain pen? Like me, I love the gel pens. However, a little birdie in the studio, aka 예지 PD님, she did a hair flip on me. Okay, she did like a, 저는 펜 같은 거 안 써요. Like she uses 그거 태블릿 그거 펜만 쓰신다고. In English we call it like a stylus pen, right? 네, 어려서 좋겠어요. 너무 좋아요. No, I say it jokingly, but like, I know younger people, you know, they use those stylus pens quite a bit more so than probably traditional, you know, pen and paper. I'm old school. I love pens and, you know, I love going to the stationery store, the smell, the scent of all the paper, and I love it. But we have a message from, let's see, Pak Chinuk-nim, who says, I have a job where I use a pen all day. So that's why I like I can't give the brand name, but the pen. I love pens. I don't even know what that is. So my kids gave me pens for my birthday when they were kids. So I still take pens from them, but now they're middle school students. So should I say that I love money? 돈은 최고죠. But I don't know. From your kids, I feel uncomfortable saying to my kids like, oh, you know, mommy likes money. 그건 I don't know. I prefer not to, but that's totally up to you. Other people's responses. 태진님 says, 이 브랜드 다 아실 거잖아요. 모나 땡 펜. 주가 오르겠군요. We have a 청호동로 Body, 청호동 Nobody, also liking that brand, the 모나든, but they like the 1.0을 좋아한대요. 저는 개인적으로 0.7을 좋아하는데, 네, 1.0을 좋아하시네요. Yes, I'm very. 진리님 저랑 비슷하네요. 저도 젤펜 0.7, 0.5. We're on the same wavelengths. And let's see. Leslie says today's text topic, blue. And I can't say this name either. Ik round stick M pen for everyday tasks, but I love school supplies, so I have a drawer full of gel pens, sharp and markers, etc. By the way, the sharp, the black marker, that one, that's the best. I can't find a better one in Korea. I brought so many with me, and I have them sent over from the States. I swear by that sharp, black marker. So I agree with you. We're going to get to Lian, and I'm curious as to what she's going to say. It's time for Now and Next. We have trend-setting Lian here. Good morning.
Good morning, Catherine.
Oh, are you okay?
My voice is so rusty.
Oh, no, you were fine off air and then 갑자기. 괜찮아요? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. So, I want to get your take. Are you like our producer?
No.
tablet 펜밖에 안 써요.
They don't know the beauty of those days of analog days when everything was written.
Oh, right.
Yes.
So,
but I know we can't talk about the brand names, but actually I found my favorite pen.
Yes.
Sitting on the table because as I was preparing for this, I think everyone knows this pen, right? It's
like
a
felt tip pen.
Yeah, is that what it's called? It's not a ballpoint.
It's not ballpoint
pen.
It's not
쓸 때 좀 뻑뻑한 pen이죠. 이게.
I don't know what it's called, but I know exactly. It's a good one.
이거 없이 편지를 쓸 수가 없습니다.
That's in my top 5.
Yeah. It helps me makes my handwriting really neat and prettier. Because ballpoint pen for me, it's too slippery. It makes my hand go crazy. Like it goes like all the handwritings, it goes everywhere. But this one is perfect for me. So this black one is my favorite one. Everyone probably knows it just by the cover of.
JB calls it 수성펜.
수성펜.
Oh, so simple. Like looking for like a fancy name.
Felt tip pen.
Felt it, no. Okay.
But I was surprised you keep track of like 0.5, 0.7. 와, 그 세상까지는 전 안 가봤어요.
I don't, for me, I don't like it when it's too thin. 글씨가
right.
좀 안 예뻐지고.
Oh, so it has to be like 0.7.
0.7 or higher.
I should try that out. So what's 0.7 if what fits me?
All right.
Yes.
We're going to jump into Now and Next. What do you have for us?
All right. Like always, I want to start off with a question.
Okay, I love your questions.
To see if you're a Taminya. Let's see. If you walk into a yoga studio today, what do you think most people would be wearing? Clothing-wise.
I haven't been to a yoga studio in a while, but, looking back, I mean, leggings, bra tops, form-fitting, because, you want to do all your poses and,
Yeah, and
you want to
have the
see your
mirrors,
lines.
of course.
Yeah. Nope.
That used to be true.
Like I said, it's been a while.
라떼는 그랬을 수도 있는데.
근데 요즘은?
Here's the twist. So after 20 years of dominance, like you said, leggings, everyone was wearing them.
Yes.
Gen Z decided to move on, and their choice is this loose parachute-style workout pants.
아, 진짜요?
Baggy pants are in.
For yoga?
For yoga and for fashion as well.
Oh, for fashion, I definitely see, yeah.
Oh, right. And then even for yoga studios as well. I'm into all the sports out there.
Yeah.
Including yoga. So we're talking about oversized, crinkly fabric pants paired with no more bra tops, but like crop. Everything crop. With the spaghetti strap. That's kind of like the signature uniform look these days.
I see.
The Wall Street Journal even declared recently that, they have articles titled "Leggings Are Dead," because they've been interviewing yoga studio owners in New York.
Yes,
and they're saying, our students, they don't wear leggings anymore. If you do, you kind of look like a boomer.
Oh no, and you don't want to look like a boomer.
Yeah. You don't want to look like them. So, leggings are fading for several reasons.
Okay,
and it's all tied to a generational shift. The millennials made leggings a staple for over a decade.
Right.
But the Gen Z are rejecting them.
They're saying no.
Because they're pushing back against anything that looks too polished or body conscious. So they want to lean towards a more looser, oversized silhouette kind of look. And so on social media, you'll see influencer really loving the parachute pants, the cargo, the wide-legged styles. And also comfort plays a big role as well.
You know what I saw recently? It was Jennie from Blackpink.
Yes.
And and other, hot, stars, they're really into like the unitard.
Yes.
And then they wear what you're talking about, the really baggy pants. And then you can see between.
Yes, the skin.
That's
between,
the point, right? That's the whole point? Okay.
그 공항룩에서도 많이 나오잖아요.
맞아.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I could pull it off.
You
can't.
could.
There's probably going to be like fat jiggling out.
What fat? 어디요?
근데 너무 예뻐요. Anyways, so leggings were prized before back in those days because they're stretchy and they hug the body and but the Gen Z's idea of comfort is completely different. It has to be about like the airiness, the freedom of movement, and so they also deliver these baggy pants, the relaxed vibe in a way that compression leggings just simply can't deliver. And another factor, there's a self-image factor. Many young people online admit that they feel insecure in leggings.
I would too, though.
Yeah.
Like, no matter like how young and fit you are.
Because it shows your proportion of your body too, right?
And like everything. It's unforgiving.
Exactly.
Right.
If it gets too thin, even your cellulite. Because that was the story of me in my 20s. 이거 너무 얇아서 안 되겠네. Anyways, so baggy pants act like a shield, and it shifts the attention away from the body.
Yeah.
And it offers you a sense of privacy, right?
I fully understand.
And so... so again, fashion is also cyclical. We saw the days of the skinny jeans.
Thank God that's dead.
Hey, it might be coming back.
Thank God that trend is dead.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
the worst.
Leggings made out of jeans. 진짜
right, jeggings. There was even a word like jeggings.
And I used to obsess over it.
I know, but then
feel guilty.
But now it's like
it's so gone. Something of the past.
Yes.
And then there's the athleisure tights. They had their moment, but now we're going back to the 90s hip hop skater culture. Think like TLC videos. And nostalgia is fueling this baggy comeback. I used to wear hip hop in middle school.
In middle school?
Baggy pants. Like there's brand names like Fu Thing,
I
and
remember.
Maja Flat Thing.
I remember. Yeah.
So I guess those kind of look, the baggy pants.
It's back.
It's coming back.
Right. So, the whole idea about leggings, though, and then like there was always a social debate. Like, are leggings appropriate even like in the public sphere, like away from like the yoga studio? Even 한참 그런 얘기도 많았어요.
Is it more so in Korea though, compared to abroad?
Even abroad, people were saying,
really?
is that appropriate office wear?
Office wear is not appropriate. Maybe
know,
not.
Because some people were still like sticking to it, like the whole like the leggings with like a jacket.
Oh,
but,
I see. That was so
saying?
trendy.
Right, that was really trendy, like
Yeah.
back in the day. But I don't know.
I don't know.
So they got pushed aside from like all directions, apparently.
But if they do that now, 그건 너무 boomer look입니다.
Yeah.
Right, and so the business of fashion also called it this generational divide, calling baggy clothes as life-changing. It combines comfort, confidence, self-expression. And it really gives that freedom and a boost of confidence for all these Gen Zers. And also, leggings, they used to represent like discipline, like, I'm like really trying to stay fit kind of thing. But again, baggy pants kind of flip that around.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. I'm this specific individual. We don't care
This
about.
is me.
Yeah. You don't need to like judge me based on what my legs look like in these leggings. And in fact, I actually go shopping a lot in these sports brands like Lulu Teng or And it's so interesting because
is it different? Like
they're
the
known
merchandise?
for their leggings, right? That are super stretchy, but they have this whole rack of baggy pants.
Oh, so
they do.
They're aware of this. Thank goodness.
And they have like a whole full of like outdoor fashion line. That's all. So that is a trend that I wanted to talk about. If we have time for one more.
We do.
We're seeing the rise of 내시피. Guess what that is?
네?
내시피.
Recipe,
but
my
내시피.
recipe?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I guess.
yes.
Okay.
I know you are quite a cook.
I
at
love cooking.
home.
Yes.
So before we dig in, do you have any recipe of your own that you kind of made up on your own?
You know, I'll be honest. It's a lot of borrowing from other people.
Right. Oh, okay.
And then, like, you know, maybe little minor twists. Like I add a different ingredient.
Here
And nothing
and there.
like that original.
No.
Yeah. I'm
don't
a
have any.
follower. Yes.
I don't have no recipe either. It's okay.
Okay.
But basically what the idea is, you take a regular product, remix it in your own way.
Okay.
Share it on your, you know, SNS, TikTok or Insta thing, and you got and it blows up. That's what the trend is. And then the thing is, it doesn't end there. The brands, they take notice and turn it into a real product.
Oh.
So the brands are looking at the influencers online and
to get
taking
ideas?
their ideas and making into a product. That's kind of the trend.
Okay.
So to give you a very concrete example of this, you know the melon soda?
Yes.
It's green. What people have
That
been
one.
doing
Yes.
is they were adding melon garnish, like in like a skewer. They would put in, they would, you know, with the ice cream scooper, they would take 3 scoops of melon and put it in the skewer and then put it on top of the melon soda, which is in a glass, a premium glass. And making a mocktail, a green mocktail. And it went viral because it's so pretty to the eye.
Yes.
Because it's all green and it's refreshing and everyone was trying it out. And so thus came out the melon soda. And also other food chains, other TikTok thingers were, I feel like I just said them. They were doing...
Tears.
I'm so bad at this. They were putting vanilla ice cream over Dr. Pe thing.
The root beer.
Right. To make floats. And this was becoming trendy online. And a burger chain came out with the exact same recipe, calling it a king float. So, I mean, companies are really...
This one.
Which one?
You know, the sandwich company.
Yes. The transportation sandwich company.
Yeah. 지하철. You know.
In English.
But that one, this particular menu, I went to order it yesterday because I liked it.
Oh.
Like, I had it like 2 weeks ago. And then there was this new taco salad that they rolled out.
Okay.
So I had it 2 weeks ago. It was so good. And I went to order it yesterday. And then it wasn't on there. So I thought, that's weird. I looked on the news. They discontinued it because it was so popular. Like,
what? Because it was so popular?
Yeah, it was overly popular and they couldn't keep up with demand.
Yes.
It's a real thing. Yes.
Right. So for our listeners who don't know what we're talking about, so basically this company, customers were wrapping tortillas into salads.
Yes.
Eating them in taco style.
Right.
And then the company took notice and they were like...
Taco salad.
Yeah, taco salad. We're just going to make it for you.
Yeah.
And then... Kathleen, like you said, it's been selling out too much, so you can't even get it anymore.
As of yesterday, they're gone.
So our consumers are becoming more creative.
Yes. And so what else?
Hey, this is my personal favorite.
Okay, here we go.
This is, I don't know if I call it recipe because I got it from the recipe from the singer Song Si-kyung, who has
He's a foodie.
요리 YouTube channel. And he, you know the spiciest ramen brand out there, the Tim Teng ramen. So he had that combined with sundubu. Oh, why is my mouth watering right now?
With sundubu and
순두부 그냥 섞어서 먹으면 그러니까 라면을 끓이다가 그 순두부를 넣고 그냥 먹는 거예요.
Have you tried it?
It's so good.
It's so good?
It's so good because every time it gets too spicy, you get a scoop of the sundubu, and it's like healthier because I'm very health conscious.
Right.
I feel less guilty about eating ramen, and it's like so good because it's like the blandness of the sundubu makes the too much spicy a little like
it
balance.
evens it out.
Yeah, and it's really good.
I gotta try.
And it's so easy.
꿀꺽.
그냥 마트에서 그냥 순두부 사고 라면 사고 그냥 끝. It's so easy.
Try it. That one I haven't tried.
That was his 그의 recipe, not 내시피, but I want to call it my 내시피.
Not Lian.
성씨의 recipe.
Not recipe.
Yes, but that's one of my personal favorites. And so here's why this trend is working so well.
Yes.
You know, the ramen mashups or, you know, these mocktails are really pretty to the eye. these recipes, it has some like rules. It has to be very easy for anyone to try.
Easy. What else?
It has to require no chef skills.
Low skills or no skills?
Low skills. And you can't have any special equipment going into it.
Okay,
right?
so nothing
Anyone
fancy.
can make it, right?
Got it.
And these products have to be from the local convenience store. So for Gen Z, it's perfect. 아무것도 없어도 그냥 just walk into a convenience store and you can make it all happen.
Well, for those of you out there, maybe you can try one of these trends, or maybe you're already wearing the parachute pants, but we're going to call it a wrap, and we'll definitely check in with you next week. Thank you, Lian.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, this was Now and Next with Lian. It's time to wrap up for hour number 1. This is Baggy Jeans by NCTU, and I'll be back at 8.
Baggy, 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 baggy jeans. Baggy, 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 baggy jeans. 몽게 내리고 sky high attitude. Go with my crew. 끌어올리지는 바지 좀 boom boom boom. Step doom doom doom. 빨리 내 앞에서 beat the room room room. Feel this heat. full emoji. Waist에 빠져 끌어내려 drip. 난 지금 무신데 내는 것 같은 기분이야. Lose it or spend it. Yeah.
우린 1, 2, 3 거리로 surfing and I jump 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 하늘에 닿게.
Bring it down 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 무게 내려둬. 모든 선택은 매번 stereo.
You know no no what's in my pocket. 내 주머니 속에 내가 먼저 가지는지.
Watch me dripping that 흘러내려 slay. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. 우리 흘러내리지, you know what I mean. Baggy, 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 baggy jeans. Baggy, 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 baggy jeans. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. Baby, you ain't know what is in my pocket. 태도 대충 거칠고 내가 거는 city 꽤 넓은 octagon. Lay back 뒤로 끌어줘 빠르기보다는 flow keep it 24.
I go with my team 모두 다 freeze out of way. 우린 모두 같이 건너지 we trap. Bag it bag it bag it bag it up 담아내. 무거워지지 내 주머니 bada bang.
One more 우린 더 바라지 one more 끝까지 닿길래 1, 2, 3 가볍게는 몸을 swing. Don't you hear 어디로 다 이끌지. We got no ceiling that's why 빛처럼 내려 we drop. Watch me dripping that 흘러내려 slay. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. 뚝뚝 흘려버려, you know what I mean. 난 좀 다르게 걷지. 각자를 다 반복이. 가볍게 feeling so free. In my baggy, 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 baggy jeans. Baggy jeans. 다시는 숨을 크게 삼켜.
이라는 고아원도 세워주었습니다. 그러나 지금 에티오피아는 위기에 처해 있습니다. 끊이지 않는 내전과 기후재난으로 대부분의 의료시설은 파괴되었고 의약품도 부족해 간단히 치료할 수 있는 질병으로 사망에 이르는 상황입니다. 바로 지금이 우리가 에티오피아의 진 빚을 갚을 때입니다. 지금 전화해주세요. 후원 문의 080-982-0119 국제구조위원회.
깨끗한 공기, 편리한 교통, AI로 연결된 세상까지 일상의 모든 순간 그 중심에 과학이 있습니다. 작은 호기심이 세상을 바꾸고 불가능을 가능으로 만드는 힘, 과학. 부산이 과학기술 혁신도시로 도약하고 있습니다. 과학기술, 산업, 고등교육이 파동치는 혁신도시 부산. 과학으로 한 걸음 앞서가는 부산이 대한민국의 미래를 이끕니다. 변화와 도약을 이끄는 중요한 한 걸음. 일상에 보이지 않는 곳까지 새로운 가능성을 찾아갑니다. 비스텝, 비더스텝. 이 캠페인은 부산의 과학기술, 산업, 고등교육 혁신을 선도하는 부산과학기술고등교육진흥원이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
김밥가게 박 사장님도, 문구점 김 사장님도 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
The time is now 8 o'clock, and this is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan. We begin with Spotlight News. He visits Hanwha Shipyard in Philadelphia as part of U.S. trip. President Lee Jae-myung attended a naming ceremony for a national security mission vessel at the Hanwha Philly Shipyard as a sign of South Korea-U.S. cooperation in the shipbuilding industry. In his congratulatory speech for the state of Maine, Lee said that the Make American Shipbuilding Great Again, or MAGSA, project will create a win-win effect for both Korean and American shipbuilding industries. He paid tribute at the Arlington National Cemetery before heading to Philadelphia. The South Korean president will conclude his 6-day trip and head to South Korea after the Philly shipyard tour. Special envoy says Xi Jinping likely to visit APEC in Gyeongju. The presidential special envoy to Beijing said that Chinese President Xi Jinping will likely attend the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC summit in Gyeongju this fall, but confirmed the two countries' differences in lifting the ban on Korean culture. Former National Assembly Speaker Park Byung-seok briefed the press in Beijing, saying he asked Chinese leaders to lift the country's ban on Korean culture and products, but the local leaders mentioned the need to take action against anti-China sentiments within South Korea. Park said that China stood by its previous position on the issues of the Korean Peninsula, but agreed with President Lee Jae-myung's principles on respecting North Korea's regime. Special counsel to indict Kim Gun-hee on Friday. The special counsel, led by Min Jung-gi, said it will indict the former First Lady under detention on Friday, marking the first time that a former first couple will stand trial under detention. Kim faces charges of bribery, violation of the Political Funds Act and the Capital Market Act. The special counsel has notified Kim to appear for questioning tomorrow, as she has submitted a written notice of absence citing health reasons. first quarter marks smallest job increase on record. The number of waged laborers in the first quarter only increased by some 15,000, the lowest rate of increase since record-taking began due to a reduction in manufacturing and retail jobs. Statistics Korea announced job figures for the first quarter of 2025 yesterday, showing a total of 20,536,000 jobs. The construction sector saw the biggest decrease in job figures on record. Manufacturing jobs decreased for the first time in 4 years, and wholesale and retail jobs showed a decline for the first time ever. Statistics Korea attributed the figures to demographic changes and a stagnant economy. UN calls for justice over Israel's Gaza hospital bombing. The United Nations has demanded Israel's investigation into the double bombing of the last functioning hospital in Gaza that killed 20 people, including journalists and rescue workers. Israel released the initial results of the investigation, claiming that the military was attempting to destroy a Hamas camera in the area used to surveil the army. It also claimed that the strike killed 6 terrorists. Witnesses said the second strike by Israel came just as rescue crews and journalists arrived to evacuate the wounded 15 minutes after the first bombing, killing first responders and media workers. And this was Spotlight News. It's now time for Waga. Haley's back.
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes. Well, for our first story, I wish it was a bright, airy story, but it's not. We have some data on violent crimes from this year with a concerning pattern.
Right, so we do have to address this. So there were 388 murders that took place in South Korea this year for the first 7 months, and 70 of them had a history of domestic dating violence or stalking. So this is upon analysis by the National Police Agency. They ran the data on these 388 murders or attempted murders. And of the suspects, 58 were men, so they accounted for 84%, and 11 were women at 15%.
Yes.
And dividing this up by the type of crime, domestic abuse accounted for over half of the total cases of these the history leading to murders, followed by a quarter of dating violence and 12% stalking.
Yes.
So of the 7 cases, over half of them were first-time offenders. So the police explained that given the nature of these crimes perpetrated by people whom the victims were or are in relationships with, the victims were actually reluctant in reporting these cases. And there was a pattern of domestic or dating violence quickly transpiring into heavy crimes like murder, attempted murder. And these types of what they call relationship-based crimes, they've been on the rise each year.
I see.
So the police therefore have started to crack down against stalking. And the number of electronic anklet measures have grown by 463% in the last month. So they're being really proactive in putting these monitoring devices on stalkers or perpetrators of dating violence, and also detentions up by 155%.
Wow. So that's what's happening with violent crimes this year. Well, we previously covered this story about 4 young men who drowned at a river that was banned for swimming. So the county office in charge sent out a recruitment for new lifeguards, but this post is now under fire.
Right. So previously we covered this story in Gumsangun County where 4 young men in their 20s, they died after they went swimming in a river that was explicitly banned for swimming due to fast rapids and fast-moving waters. Well, Gumsangun County in Chungnam Province, they've posted a recruitment notice for new lifeguards in this area. However, the post says for cases of drowning accidents, the lifeguards may be liable both in criminal and civil capacity.
Oh.
And they notified prospective applicants of that in the notice. So the post says in cases of death by drowning at these work sites, the contract may be terminated and the lifeguard may be punished under professional negligence resulting in death and or be subject to a civil damages suit by the families. Other details of the job post include that the job will be in place. The contract will be until August 31st. The shifts will be 8 hours per day at 85,000 won, 85,000원 for the entire day.
Oh.
So the county has been getting a lot of complaints about the post, as you might imagine, including one sardonically saying, oh, are you looking for someone to go to prison for 85,000 won per day?
Oh. And so I was doing the math in my head, so it's like that's basically minimum wage.
It is.
And then you are open up to you might be liable for lawsuits.
And jail time.
Right. So this is very much an unconventional job post.
Right. So public opinion is public opinion. Let's look at the legality. Can one post? You might be punishable legally or open to civil suits. That's in a gray area, according to some lawyers who were interviewed by media outlets for this story.
Okay.
So one attorney says just the act of terminating a contract due to a drowning accident, because that would be outside the lifeguards. Well, I don't want to say lifeguards are not responsible for saving lives, but for example, in this particular case, there were clear no swimming signs on the board. Would be wrongful termination because one can only terminate an employee from the contract for just cause. So it wouldn't legally qualify as just cause.
Okay.
So the county, for its part, said they understand the post could have been misleading. The intention was to instill a sense of responsibility and caution for the prospective job applicants. Right. So they meant that these charges or lawsuits could be applied in cases of intentional or grave negligence. And they also said that in future job notices, they will remove that line.
Okay. I wonder how many people apply.
Yeah, I wonder how many people will want to apply. All right. Always read the fine print, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. There has been an interesting report about life in Pyongyang that is definitely kind of unexpected.
Right. So we talk about life in North Korea. There's a certain image, and that image might not be one of luxury,
right?
Let's just say. But the New York Times actually reported on this life of luxury. Commercialism, consumerism, capitalism perhaps, and Western-inspired or copied brands in the North Korean capital.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay.
So the New York Times obtained videos from 3 separate foreigners. They're either tourists or international students who have recently visited North Korea. One Chinese international student said that the hotspot, the most luxurious place in Pyongyang is the shopping mall called Nangrang Aeguk Kumgangwan. And there are different stores in this shopping mall. One Chinese students colloquially call this the North Korean IKEA or IKEA. That's because the furniture and the products they sell here are very similar to the Swedish brand. It is unclear if they are the same products, maybe imported or just copies, but at least one particular lamp or some lamps are identical in both the product shape, packaging, and here's the most conspicuous part, even the name.
Oh, even the name.
Because the names in the Swedish brand are very Swedish.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are no words that are similar in Korean. Another one, there's apparently this Reserve coffee shop. And if that term Reserve rings a bell, that's because Reserve is a brand within Starbucks. And this is new, so I'm saying the brands. But here it's called 미래 리저브, Future Reserve. And instead of an S, the logo is an M for 미래.
미래.
Yeah, so it's, I'm just saying, it's just inspired at least. And by the way, it's expensive.
How expensive?
One student said that they paid equivalent of $25 for 3 cups of coffee. So that would be like 34,000원 for 3 cups of coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, inflation apparently happening in Pyongyang as well. What's more, a lot of monetary transactions, payments via QR codes.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's like a Chinese influence as well. So here's the point of contention though. Here's like the another legality.
Okay.
Because of international sanctions, global firms cannot sell luxury goods or have subsidiary or partner companies in North Korea.
Right.
So is IKEA or Starbucks? Of course not. So Starbucks said that it has no stores in North Korea, of course. IKEA said that it's going to monitor any intellectual property or IP violations and take legal actions if their products are indeed illegally being sold or copied.
Ah, very interesting story. So thanks for covering this one. All right, let's go back to President Lee Jae-myung's summit for a final story. And this is very much, related to our text topic because, there were gifts exchanged.
There were definitely gifts exchanged because it is customary for heads of state to bring gifts, and they are a part of diplomacy. Loaded with symbolism. So President Lee Jae-myung's delegation brought 3 major gifts plus an unintended gift.
Okay.
So the planned gifts were included a model of Busan, the famous turtle ship, created by a master shipbuilder. This is a nod to MASCA, Make American Shipbuilding Great Again, the collaboration with South Korea. So it is a model of the traditional ship, but apparently made by an active shipbuilder working in South Korea. So kind of combining tradition and cutting-edge technology.
Yes.
The delegation also brought a custom-made golf club engraved with name Donald Trump and 45 and 47, nod to his presidency.
Yes.
Also 2 hats, MAGA cowboy hats for Donald and Melania Trump. Apparently, of course, the MAGA hats are a major merch.
Yes.
But apparently, Donald Trump has never been photographed wearing a cowboy hat with MAGA logo, so that's been kind of a nod to that. For President Trump's part, he apparently took the delegation to the White House gift room.
Yes.
Basically told them to pick out whatever they wanted and autograph things like photos, hats, golf balls, and pins. Yeah.
Yes, and so let's talk about the unexpected gift because by now many people know it is a pen, right?
It is a pen.
Yes.
This was taken not as a gift, but given as one anyways.
Okay.
So this is a custom-made pen by a South Korean company. By the way, and I think some of our listeners kind of alluded to it, the stocks for one of the South company's biggest pen making brand spiked yesterday morning because people just kind of assumed it would be that. It's not. It's partially, but also not. So it's carved from wood for President Lee Jae-myung's to be used as his official signing pen.
Okay.
It was made by a domestic company, handcrafted, but uses the ink from that big corporation, but it's made by not that corporation.
Okay.
So it has the Taeguk logo and the presidential phoenix Pohang engraved on it. Apparently took 2 months to hand make this pen.
Really?
Yeah, but he gave it away. Here's the thing though. Pens are important diplomatic tools in American politics because the whole point of giving a pen, therefore, kind of took on another meaning that South Koreans may not be aware of. Because American presidents, when they sign laws or bills into law, they give away those pens that they use to people who were maybe symbolic in this law being enacted or lawmakers or groups that really took a major part in creating this law. For major, capital M, major bills, presidents actually have been known to use 1 pen per letter. So, for example, when President Barack Obama signed this famous healthcare bill, it actually took him a while because he had to use a different pen for each Barack Obama letter.
Yes.
President Trump, by the way, is known to love the use Sharpie brand. And the White House actually made, I believe it's the same brand, but they have it painted all in black and has Donald Trump's signature on the pen itself to be given away in ceremonies.
Ooh, well, now we know.
By the way, I like 0.38 millimeter pens.
Really?
If anyone was wondering, no one was, but I'm just saying.
Thank you for
You're
today's
welcome.
TMI.
Yep.
Thank you, Haley.
I'm here.
We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's get to your updated traffic and weather. It is now 16 past the hour. Here's your traffic update. There's a bus that is broken down on Haeundae-ro from the Wondong Ramp intersection to Haeundae Police Station. It's backed up on Gwanmun-dae-ro from Bangnam Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel. And it looks busy on Gaya-dae-ro from Kaegum intersection to Jure intersection, and also busy on 중앙대로 from Yangjong intersection to Songgong three-way intersection. Currently, it's 27 degrees Celsius here in Busan. It's sunny. The daytime high will go up to 31. Busan City is under a special heatwave report, 폭염특보. Across the nation, another hot one with the Jeonnam, Gyeongnam, and Jeju regions under a special heatwave report. The daytime high will go up to 35 degrees in some areas. Showers are forecast for parts of the Gyeongsang, Chungbuk, and Jeju areas starting in the afternoon. So you might want to pack an umbrella. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for your special interview. Well, you know, the much anticipated summit, first with Japan last weekend, well, that marked a new turning point in relations between Seoul and Tokyo. And then immediately thereafter, President Lee Jae-myung traveled to Washington, D.C. for his first meeting with President Donald Trump at the White House, addressing a wide range of issues. So President Lee has now wrapped up his 6-day trip visiting two nations. We're going to touch upon the major issues, its achievements, and tasks still to be dealt with after the two summits. So we have Professor Sean O'Malley, tenured professor of international studies at Dongseo University, joining us once again. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Catherine. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Professor, we're going to start with the first summit, the Korea-Japan Summit, Seoul and Tokyo. What were the key issues discussed during President Lee's meeting with Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba?
Well, as always, the two leaders sort of reconfirmed their cooperation in regards to North Korea and pledged to try and provide a denuclearized Korean peninsula. Beyond that, I think the two issues were really twofold. There were two key issues. The first was that they agreed to form a council to explore solutions to issues such as aging, the low birth rate, disaster relief and recovery, agricultural issues. And the second thing was President Lee receiving advice from the Prime Minister about how he may approach Donald Trump during the then upcoming summit President Lee was going to have with the U.S. president.
Yeah, so in terms of what happened, I understand they issued a joint declaration, and it was the first of this kind in, 17 years? What do you think this tells us about the relationship?
Well, I'm hoping that the joint statement provides sort of cautious hopefulness is the way I'm phrasing it. I don't want to go into optimism just yet. The Lee Jae-myung administration may be able to sustain sort of a meaningful, practical policy coordination with Japan. I think that's what they're striving for. This is something that eluded the previous Liberal President Moon Jae-in.
Yes.
And so I think the statement in that sense is significant.
I see. So once again, cautious hopefulness, not yet optimism. I get it. Looking ahead to the relationship, what stance is the Korean government likely to take when it comes to future cooperation with Japan? Is it going to be more of the same?
Yeah, I think we have to really wait and see how this is all going to shake out. President Lee went there. He promoted a set of very practical policies. These were all very low-level political policies that the bureaucracy really should have been dealing with over the last decade that seemed to fall by the wayside as relations became strained.
Yes.
So these are things that aren't going to upset higher-level politics like economic policy and historical grievances. I think really the key, perhaps, to this summit's relative success was that they didn't discuss any practical policies regarding South Korea's historical grievances against Japan. At some point, these grievances are going to be raised by the Liberal Democratic Party. We don't know when or for what reason, but they will. And at that point, President Lee is going to have to figure out how to placate his party members as well as maintain stable relations with Japan.
I see. Well, we're going to shift gears a bit and move on to the Korea-U.S. summit, which, in the beginning, I have to say I was a little nervous after I saw, U.S. President Donald Trump's social media posts. There was a lot of, bated breath. And then can we talk about the most pressing topics on the table with President Lee and President Trump in Washington?
Yeah, well, it was a busy few days for President Lee, so let's give him a lot of credit for getting through them. I'm not sure what the pressing issues were because Donald Trump rambled on about a lot of different things, but the pressing issue was supposed to be tariffs and trade.
Right.
And at the very beginning of the joint media session, even before their private summit meetings, President Trump said, and I quote, "I hear they want to renegotiate the deal, but that's okay. I don't mind that. That doesn't mean they're going to get anything." He sort of set up the fact that this wasn't going to really be about trade and tariffs in his mind.
Okay.
And President Lee's opening remarks were regarding basically a few flattering remarks about America and how beautiful it is.
Yes.
And then he focused solely on engagement with North Korea. And the two presidents spent 12 minutes discussing possible North Korean engagement. So from the opening remarks, it seems that the two presidents were approaching this meeting from very different perspectives.
Yes, yes. And so what did you make of some of the, at least the details that have come out so far of at least their public display of, like I said, it could have been tense. It could have been a so-called Zelensky moment, but it wasn't. And it seemed that President Yi was well prepared. According to many foreign outlets, lots of flattery to, make sure Donald Trump was, in a good mood.
Yeah, this went as well as it could have gone, I think, when you're dealing with President Trump, who has a fairly quixotic personality, to put it gently. The main outcomes appear to be simply a reaffirmation of the trade and investment agreement that the two sides' administrations made a few weeks back. And then this friendly face-to-face meeting between the two presidents to really show that Korea is back to business as usual after a change of governments. So in that way, it was very good. We still have no greater clarification of details concerning this $350 billion investment that the South Korean government promised to the Trump administration in exchange for 15% tariffs.
Right.
On Korean goods entering the U.S. market. So we'll have to see what those details are in the future. Senior Presidential Secretary for Policy Kim Yong-bum said that the South Koreans want a final agreement that is a non-binding memorandum of understanding. I don't believe that the Trump administration has any desire to sign that. They agreed to this exchange of $350 billion for a 15% tariff, and they're going to want a binding agreement that South Korea has to honor. And then in addition to that, the Federation for Korean Industries announced in another meeting on Monday a further $150 billion of investment by Korean firms in the United States. But Senior Secretary Kim said this is not related to the $350 billion of investment promised earlier. So we've now got $500 billion of South Korean investment heading to the United States, apparently.
Yes, yes. So it does seem that we're going to have to take another wait-and-see approach, Professor, in terms of what the details may have. I don't know if they were discussed or if they're still ironing out the details. Is that what it looks like?
Yeah, it's going to take a while, I think, to hammer out the details of these finer agreements. This summit really sort of successfully, I think, cemented President Donald Trump's approach to this relationship was that trade and investment should favor the United States and that security and military relationship should be transactional.
Yes.
And on Monday at a separate meeting, President Lee, and I want to quote him here because this was very important, he said, South Korea is no longer in a position to act or make decisions that deviate from the fundamental policies of the United States. This is a fairly shocking admission from a liberal South Korean president. So one really has to wonder how his administration will maintain a sustainably positive relationship with China in this kind of environment.
Yes. Well, it seems like a lot of factors are still in play. And, you know, the relationship with China is always a sensitive one as well. But thank you so much for giving us your expertise and insight into these two summits. We always appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Catherine.
Absolutely. This was Professor Sean O'Malley talking about the aftermath thus far, what we know after the two summits, with Seoul with Tokyo and then Seoul with Washington. We are ready for a next song. So this is Whenever, Wherever by Shakira.
Lucky you were born that far away, so we could both make fun of distance. Lucky that I love her for the lucky fact of your existence. Baby, I will climb the Andes solely to count the freckles on your body. Never could imagine there were only 10 million ways to love somebody. Can't you see? I'm at your feet. Whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the deal, my dear. They're all that's the deal, my dear. Lucky that my lips not only mumble, they spill kisses like a fountain. Lucky that my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. Lucky I have strong words like my mother to run for cover when I need it. And these two eyes that for no other. The day you leave will cry a river. At your feet, I'm at your feet. Whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the deal, my dear. You're over, you're under, forever, both don't wonder. We can always play by ear, but that's the deal, my dear. Think out loud, say it again. Tell me one more time that you'll live lost in my eyes. Whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the deal, my dear. You're over, you're under, you got me head over heels. There's nothing left to feel if you really feel the way I feel. Whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the deal, my dear. You're over, you're under, you got me head over heels. There's nothing left to feel if you really feel the way I feel.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to read a few more of your responses. Our text topic today, it's all about what's your favorite writing instrument? I haven't seen a lot of like pencils, but you know what I used to love? I used to love 국내에서는 샤프라고 하나요? 아니면 but I love mechanical pencils. I used to love and you know, putting the lead in, that sense of like fulfillment and like contentment of making sure like, you know, the pencil was full of lead. And then I would feel nervous if there was only 샤프심 잉크가 한 개 남았을 때 약간 I would feel a little nervous, and then I would always make sure it was like replenished. And then there were certain brands of even the 샤프심도 약간 그 질이 달라요. So some easily break, maybe the cheaper brands, and then the other ones are a little bit more resilient. So I used to love using mechanical pencils as well. Something that I've noticed on the board is there is a whole debate about 그 펜에서 그 사이즈 있잖아요, millimeter. Like Haley says she's 0.38. I am 0.7, or even some people are saying even 1, right? 1 millimeter. So there's a debate going on among you all saying that like depending on your penmanship, 글씨가 얼만큼 예쁜 거에 따라, like maybe you prefer, if you prefer the smaller point, maybe, your handwriting isn't pretty. Not my opinion, but what you are all kind of waggling about in our chat room. So I wonder if that's true. Does that affect how pretty you write, or your penmanship, the size of the tip of your pen? And definitely with fountain pens, 만년필, Leslie, she pointed out if you press really hard, 너무 세게 이렇게 누르면 the ink gets everywhere. So for fountain pens, you got to be extra, extra careful. All right, now we're going to turn to Jennifer for Work in Progress. It's time for Jennifer. She's here for Work in Progress.
Good morning.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. And I know that your little one is back at school, right?
Yes.
And I know
finally.
many, many parents are celebrating or so happy. And I know that some schools, they go back to school next week on Monday, especially
so
like
late?
colleges, universities, and also some elementary schools. They start
the
next
elementary
week.
school children.
Yeah, some start tomorrow and some start Monday.
They have longer break,
yes,
right?
it depends on the school.
Yeah.
And apparently sometimes when your school is undergoing construction, they can change like the vacation days.
Yeah, they're very flexible with that, right?
Yes,
What
yes.
do you prefer, like long winter break or long summer break?
Neither.
Correct answer.
Meaning, they're all at school. It's okay. So like, oh my gosh. Like,
What's worse then?
The 삼시세끼 during summer is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Except, my kids don't really eat 3 meals a day, but let's say 2 meals a day. But like preparing it, when it's really, really hot, that's the worst.
Yeah, when you have a little kids.
Yes. And they're always like, I'm hungry.
It requires a lot
And
of
then
work.
You say, 또? Again? You just had breakfast.
A lot to prepare.
Hey, I want to ask you about our text topic though. We're talking about writing instruments, right?
I have such terrible handwriting.
Oh, really?
So I don't really enjoy writing with my hand. But then if I have to, I prefer to use a soft pen.
Soft pen.
Yeah.
So does that maybe make your writing look a little prettier?
A little better.
Little better?
I wouldn't say prettier, but a little better.
I can't imagine. I would have always imagined, Jennifer, that you have like really beautiful penmanship. No? Is it, in
Not at
English we
all.
call it chicken scratch.
Oh,
그 정도는 아니죠?
It's so embarrassing. It's so terrible.
진짜요? Next time we'll get a sample. Okay. All right, we're going to dive into Work in Progress. What do you have for us?
So today we are looking at a trend that's making a lot of employees feel uneasy, very uncomfortable. We are talking about the rise of AI-powered workplace monitoring. 그 직장에서 모니터링 논란이 있잖아요, 요즘에.
네.
From keystroke tracking to video surveillance, more companies are using technology to watch what their workers are doing, especially in remote and hybrid environments.
That sounds so, to me, because I don't work in that type of workplace, so like a little scary. It just makes me feel uncomfortable.
이게 사생활 침해냐 아니면 성과를 내기 위해 필요한 조치냐.
Exactly. There's like a whole debate going on, right? Well,
토론입니다.
why is this happening now?
There are a few reasons. Employers say they need to make sure productivity stays high.
Okay.
Especially when people are working from home because they don't know if they are really
really working?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some also argue it helps with the security, protecting company data and making sure confidential these projects and information don't leak.
That's important too, though. Yeah, protecting.
But for employees, it often feels like Big Brother is watching.
Oh, that's creepy. I mean, I would assume if someone's like, let's say, I have my computer on and like, my boss. 예지 PD님 is like watching me through the camera all day. Like, what is Kat doing all day? What is she doing? Like, it would be like,
okay, you had a coffee break for like past 20 minutes.
I'd be smiling the whole time, like, having my coffee now.
Well, in the U.S., surveys show nearly 60% of companies now use some kind of monitoring software.
Really?
Whether it's logging activity, tracking logins, or even analyzing webcam images.
Oh.
In Europe, things are different. There are stricter privacy protections like the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, that limit how far companies can go. And Korea is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Legally, companies must inform employees, but in practice, some monitoring still happens quietly.
See, that's where it bothers
that's creepy,
me.
Right?
Like, if it's like you're informed, they have your consent, then, everybody is in the know. And would be, if you're, working for the company, I guess you would have to say yes.
Yeah.
Or you could choose to quit. But, if they're monitoring you without you knowing, like, it's kind of that creepy feeling. Like, I put, like, stickers, and I tell my girls to always, like, your camera, you don't know who could be hacking into your system or your computer.
Yeah,
so you always got to cover it with a little sticker.
Yeah.
And then if you're in it like a Zoom meeting, then, take the sticker off, obviously.
That's what big companies are doing.
Yeah.
For security reasons. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where the insecurity comes in. If people feel monitored without their consent, they get paranoid. Even if the goal is efficiency, it can damage trust.
Oh, yes. And so I do want to ask, though, does this really work, though? Because, AI monitoring, does it make people more productive? Because that's the argument, right? That we want you to be productive. That's why we're monitoring you.
There are so many researches, right?
Yes.
And evidence is mixed. Some companies claim it improves efficiency by 10 to 15%.
Really? Okay.
Significantly. But other studies suggest the constant monitoring can reduce motivation and creativity. When workers feel distrusted, they do the bare minimum to avoid being flagged. And some call that productivity theater. 그 보여주기식으로 하는 거죠.
Theater.
Yeah.
Theater.
저 지금 일하고 있습니다. 네.
Well, it does make sense, you know. If like every click is being logged or monitored, and I don't know. Can you focus on ideas, or are you more worried about like, am I clicking enough? Like, my keystrokes am I typing away enough? Right?
Yeah. And I know it's funny, but I think I would also worry about my appearance more.
That's true.
When I know like people are watching me.
That's true.
You can't, my facial expressions or
even
what
like
I wear.
coughing, or like, let's say you have something on your nose, you'd be like having to turn away.
Yeah.
And, I get it.
Yeah, and this thing can backfire in jobs that require problem solving or innovation because people feel like they're constantly being watched, monitored.
I do have a question though. Are there industries where monitoring makes sense overall?
Sure. In sectors like finance or cybersecurity, strict oversight is necessary for compliance.
Yes.
And in customer service, monitoring can help ensure fair distribution of calls or tickets. Also, it protects employees as well.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But for creative, professional, or research roles, over-monitoring can do more harm than good. But I think some monitoring is necessary in the service field.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, for both parties.
Yeah.
The person that works at the company, you don't want customers or clients to be rude, but vice versa too.
Yeah.
You want the customer service rep to be responsible and ethical and, friendly as well. So I can see in that field, maybe it might make sense.
It doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen so often. But
yes.
I read about like customers who swear and use like bad language to service people. So I think in this case, monitoring is necessary.
Right. And I love that like here in Korea, like sometimes when you call like a bank or somewhere, and then they always have that recording ahead of time saying, you know, please be polite in the way you speak. The person you're speaking to is, you know, someone's daughter or a
your
family member.
Yeah.
So please, you know, be nice, be cordial.
Be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it does sound like context really matters in the whole monitoring, this whole issue about monitoring.
Absolutely. And transparency is key here. If a company is upfront, explains why they are being like why tracked and why monitored, why it matters, how data is used, employees may accept it. They may not be happy all the time, but they will accept it. But if it's secretive, if they are going behind your back, it creates fear and resentment.
And I have to say, because like from, you know, my mind always goes to this, well, what about the legal issues of this? I mean, could this cross into things like invasion of privacy?
In many countries, yes. For example, in Germany, secret monitoring can lead to lawsuits. Even in the U.S., employees have won cases when monitoring was too intrusive.
Okay.
In Korea, labor law requires advance notice and legitimate reasons for collecting personal data at work. So it's not free pass for companies.
Yes, and it should definitely not be. So I guess the line is whether it is done responsibly and transparently and definitely, you know, not like abusively and secretively.
Oh, yeah, that's really important. And the ethical question is, are you using AI to support employees and the company or just to control people? Yeah.
That is like a big question.
Yeah,
so
it shouldn't be like power game, right?
Definitely. So regarding this trend, do you think it's here to stay?
I think monitoring will continue, but it will evolve. Instead of spying, smarter companies may use AI to analyze workload balance, detect burnout, or even suggest like training needs. In other words, it could shift from being punitive to being supportive.
Okay. I do see
when
that.
When used well, yeah.
Right. So I think that would feel a lot different. More kind of like, I don't know, like a wellness tool rather than being like a surveillance tool where they're just watching you all the time.
Exactly. And but for that to work, companies need to show employees the benefits. Otherwise, people will always assume the worst.
Yes, and you know we want a healthy amount of trust, whether it's like among the employees, with you know the lower level employees, with upper management as well. So, how would you summarize what we've been talking about so far?
Well, it's really a double-edged sword. 양날의 검이라고 하죠. 네. For leaders, the challenge is to use technology responsibly.
Yes.
With a transparency and respect. For workers, it's about knowing your rights and voicing concerns if something feels invasive.
Yes.
So there has to be a good balance.
Yes, and I see a couple of messages. Like, for example, Tommy, he works in an industry where I guess like he says all computers are monitored by some sort of AI in his workplace. But he works in a very sensitive field, you know, manufacturing smartphones. So I can see in his industry where they want to make sure, for example, you mentioned like, you know, trade secrets. They have to be protected and things like that.
That's a good point. And another industry I think the monitoring is needed is like delivery service.
That's a great one too.
Yeah, because some people like they receive like parcels and they say, "Oh, there's one missing," or somebody has opened it already.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yesterday, my sister ordered. It was just delivered food, but like I saw the delivery person. She took a photo, even though like we were there. We were like before we picked up the food in front of the door. She like took a photo of it because it's like you want to make sure that you know what. I went, I delivered. Here's photographic proof of it, just in case.
Because you don't want to get a phone call saying, "Oh, one chicken leg is missing," or
so terrible. 닭다리 하나가 없어요. 그러면 어떻게 나눠 먹죠 닭다리를? Yes. So we also have a message from a person who went to a school where there was a dormitory. So 기숙사 생활을 했는데 tech office에서 전교생 노트북을 모니터링하는 시스템이었어요. 그래서 학생들이 몰래 게임 같은 거 하면 불려가서 혼나고 했던 기억이.
In schools.
In school. But the point is, 그래도 we always found a way. 라고 돼 있습니다.
Yeah.
이 사람이 누구죠? 누굴까요?
I wonder
who this person is who always found a way to get away with playing games. But that's how kids are.
Yeah, so
right?
cunning.
Right, they are. And but I do understand whether it's schools or with parents, with children and minors, monitoring might be necessary. But even with kids, we don't want to step over the line.
Sometimes even more tempting when people like bosses or grown-ups say, oh, don't do it, and you want to do it even more. You want to challenge it. Yeah.
네. Human nature. So yes, definitely food for thought. We have another message from 두둥님, and he says 회사가 let's see, is this 맞아요? 너무나 침해 하는 것도 안 좋은 것 같다고 하시는 것 같아요. 그렇지만 근무태만 사람들도 동료로서 참기 어렵다고 하네요. 그래서 basically in a nutshell, in English, if I had to paraphrase, sometimes monitoring may be necessary, but too much is an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that we all need to be better of ourselves and be productive on our own.
Everything in moderation.
Yes. And we're going to call it a wrap for today. So thank you so much for coming in and bringing us a very interesting topic. We'll check in with you next week.
Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.
Everybody, this was Jennifer with Work in Progress. And that's the thing. I love the title of that segment because I think we're all a work in progress, right? We're always striving to be better, to be more productive, to be better people. So on this Wednesday, and by the way, it is the last Wednesday of August, if you can believe. So next Wednesday, we'll be saying Happy September. So thank you so much for tuning in, chiming in. And final song for today is Rocket Man by Elton John. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse out there alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man that think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, rocket man, burning out his fuse out there alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them if you did. And all just my job 5 days a week. A rocket man, a rocket man. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
한국 전쟁